I don't ever want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.
We are going to welcome to the podcast for the first time, and hopefully not the last time, it's the best striker in the Championship. It is Leeds United's new number 7, and I'm not going to say his name because the most important question that everyone wants to know from this man, it's the one that's on everyone's lips right now, is how do we pronounce your name properly?
Well, in Dutch we always say Joel Piroe.
Joel
Piroe.
Piroe. So
Yeah.
not Piroe.
No,
Piroe.
not Piroe. Yes.
Okay, Joel
Right.
Piroe, there we go. So please welcome the best striker in the Championship, Joel Piroe.
Hey,
Thank
How are you,
It's
mate?
nice to be here. Yes, I'm good. How are you guys?
we're always
very
good.
well, very
We're
well.
always good. Me and Matt get very excited for this point of the week because we know we're going to have a chat with some of the players and totally go anywhere we can with this. But it's about getting to know you, and I'm just delighted that Matt asked that question because I've been doing the commentary with Tony Dorigo, and I've got to apologise because I have been pronouncing your name wrong. So now, from this day forward, I'm going to get it right. There you go, and sound proper
Yeah, that's
Dutch.
no problem.
It makes me so embarrassed when we get players on here, and obviously you're from the Netherlands and your English is impeccable, and I wouldn't even know where to begin with Dutch. I've spoken to a few Dutch people in my time, and their English is always incredible. Like, why is that? Why is it that your English is so good?
They spend a lot of time on education, really. We are trained in English really well, and I think even if you look in Amsterdam, I think there are more people speaking English than Dutch.
Wow.
What he's basically saying is that we
realise
need
that,
to have
so.
a trip over Amsterdam again, Matt. There you go. That's an invite.
Oh, is that what it's...
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. The three of us
Thanks,
are
mate.
Joel can show us around over there. Do you know what I mean? Now, from one
Definitely.
Amsterdam to find yourself at Leeds United, and obviously in Leeds. How you find that? How you settled in?
Well, really well. I think it's a really nice area with nice people, and of course the people here that helped me settle down really helped a lot.
Did you know any of the players before you got here, or are you basically just getting to know everybody since you've arrived, or just from playing against them?
Of course, I knew a couple players, especially the Dutch guys, Cree, Pascal. I knew them from the youth already, and then of course I knew some of the names that you've seen playing before. But it's really getting to know the other guys as well, and well, I have to say, I really love the guys. They're really nice, really helpful, really open, really friendly. So nothing but positives.
Oh, that's really great to hear. I'm glad you're enjoying your time. We'll come back to talk about the players, the Leeds players in a bit, because you can maybe we can dig some dirt on them in a bit. But before we get onto that, I think the people would really love to just like sort of learn about you, really, about how you got into football and how we got to where we are today. I mean, I was reading earlier. Is it right that when you first started, you actually played at left back and in left in midfield rather than a striker? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what shifted there?
Well, I always scored loads of goals, even playing as a defender or midfielder. So at one point, one of the coaches just said, "You know what? Let's try him out as striker," and that sticked.
And the rest.
And
is
how old were you
history.
then?
I would say 12.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
12.
And was that in the
So
Dutch
you
system?
knew from an early age.
You were in the Dutch system
Yeah.
there. What club was that with?
That was at NEC at the time.
So then you went to Eindhoven. Then is that right?
Yes. Yes.
And then where'd you go from there?
From there, I finished academy there, started joining the first team. Then they sent me out on loan for 1 season to Sparta, Rotterdam again. But then COVID struck and it got the season a little bit short.
Right.
And then afterwards, I played a full season for the first team of PSV, where mostly I had my play time from as a substitute. Then they sold me for Swansea, and after 2 seasons, I got bought by Leeds.
What was it like at such a young age playing for such a prestigious old club like PSV Eindhoven? I mean, that must have been pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, it's great. It was like 45 minutes from where I've grown up, so it's pretty local as well. And like, you know, the big names who have played there before, competing in Champions League, Europa League, to be part of that was always nice. And like, it's always good to play for a championship.
Did you look up to anybody who was like your idols back then at them football clubs? Who was your mentors?
At Feyenoord, I had Roy Mackay as mentor.
Wow.
Player, by the way. Great on Championship Manager
we
as
had
well.
loads of training sessions together. Yeah.
He was as well.
And of course at PSV I worked together with Ruud van Nistelrooy, Luc Niels.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know him. Free kick expert.
Very, very talented. I think he's just been actually. I think it was Ruud van Nistelrooy and the Brazilian Ronaldo came out and said that he was their favourite strike partner, I do believe, if I was reading that correctly. They said he was absolutely incredible because he had a nasty injury against Aston Villa, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. That's right, yes. But his technique was really good, and it still is really good, I have to say, despite the injuries. But we could learn a lot from him, especially like what you see nowadays often is that everyone just thinks about speed or power, that they just want to shoot as hard as possible. But he's the one who always says, like, no, shoot 30% less hard, but more precise, then you will get the job done.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, we've already seen that with you a couple of times this season, haven't we?
No, I was just about to say that you can actually see that in your performances and the way that you do actually finish. It's a hard thing to actually teach and coach, like you were saying. How you when you get into certain situations, I always tell the strikers that to just slow down and breathe and relax in certain situations so you can have that composure. Everybody seems to do things at 100 mile an hour, and obviously the upbringing and the mentoring that you've had from the advice of them players has paid absolute dividends, because it's a craft to scoring goals. And there's an art to it. Some people it happens so naturally for people, and I think you've been blessed with that because you've listened to the advice, and you like you say, it's about passing the ball into the net, and it's almost like you're passing a firm pass to a player.
Yeah, definitely. And that's quite funny as well, because when I think about Roy Mackay, I used to love to try to dink a goalkeeper or do something silly, and he was the one. Even if you scored, he would still scream at you and like almost want to kill you, because he said, no, you just finish it. And that's the kind of person he is, really. Keep it simple and just score goals.
Wow. I mean, you've been you made a name for yourself at Swansea for outscoring your expected goals massively. I mean, is that what you attribute that to? Is just having a bit more composure and a bit more calmness to just, like you said, finish the job rather than do something silly?
Yeah, definitely. And I have to say as well, like the expected goals thing, I think it's very nice that it's put on the chart, but sometimes I feel like certain spots for certain players are like easier to score than other chances where you would say like, oh, that's much easier. Right. So I think it's a little bit, well, for every player different. You know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean. Actually, completely. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem like an exact science, depending on who it is that's got the ball. Yeah. Interesting.
Definitely.
So then you moved to Swansea, and you were like 20, 21 or something at Swansea.
Yes.
So what was that like, moving a different country?
Well, at first it was very exciting. Like, of course, coming here, the league is going to be tougher and everything. And like, I knew Swansea was a team that the season before finished, I think, 3rd or 4th. They lost the playoff final. Right. So it was really exciting to see how good the squad was, and like if we would go for a playoff push again. And of course, Premier League is the best league in the world. And then you just want to see like how far are we off, what's the difference with here and the Netherlands. When I saw the group, the staff, everything, I thought like, all right, I made the right decision to come here. But then after 2 weeks, the gaffer left.
Right.
And
who was the gaffer?
Everything, Steve Cooper.
Ah, yeah.
He was the one who brought me there. So a lot changed, and then again I was thinking like, oh no, what's gonna happen now? And of course I still needed to prove myself to the team before that, but it was like kind of a situation where there's a new gaffer coming. He's not the one who bought me, so I don't even know if he likes me as a player or what's gonna happen now.
It's a horrible situation.
What's that like? I mean, when for both of you really, when a new gaffer comes in. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming, does he get you in his office? Does he sit you all down individually and talk to you about his plans for you and whatnot? Like, how does it work for you individually when someone new comes in?
Yeah, well, he took me in the office and we had a chat about it. Just as you said, he said in his mind, like with the team, how he knew it. Like most of the players he knew before, like Matt Grimes or Jamie Patterson, Carl Norton. Like he knew them, he knew how he would want to work with them, but he didn't know me. So he said in the first meeting we had, like, I don't really like your intensity, and I want to bring in another striker, so I'm gonna take number 9 off you, and you can have another number. And he said, it doesn't mean that I don't want to work with you. You can still show yourself to me, but this is how I think at the moment, and it's up to you to change my mind.
Wow.
This is how ruthless football is, Matt, right? And all you people listening, right? Joel just give you the honest answer to what he's gone through. I experienced this at Hull City, all right? I'd signed from Carlisle United to Hull City. It was Phil Parkinson, who's now actually the Wrexham manager on the Wrexham documentary that you're seeing. And Parky signed us. He lasted 6 matches and he got the sack. Now, I'd been at Bolton Wanderers previously with Sam Allardyce, so I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed Sammy's enthusiasm. And obviously, we saw a spell of him when he was manager last season. And his sidekick was a guy called Phil Brown. Now, I didn't get on with Phil Brown at all at Bolton Wanderers. And guess who got announced as the new manager at Hull City? Phil Brown. And I had exactly the same story. He took us into the office and he literally said, I didn't sign you, Michael, Phil did. I don't want you. So, we're going to have to see how this happens. And I turned around and said, well, listen, I've got a 2-year contract, you've only got 1, so we'll see who's here longer. Anyway, I found myself off to Australia the following season. But it's incredible how one manager fancies you and the other one just, it's like Joel said, it is a ruthless industry. But obviously you knuckled down because you ended up scoring 41 goals for Swansea and you ended up being very prolific.
Yes, no, but that's the luck I had, I think, with the gaffer
and hard work
at that time, that he was open
and
for
hard
change.
Work.
Yeah.
And did he change the system and that you had to change yourself to fit into it, or is it just a case of he just didn't know what you were capable of?
No, I would say he didn't know what I was capable of, because I think looking back at it, I fitted in the system that he wanted to play as well, and like it worked out both ways.
Yeah. And had you seen the system beforehand in the Cooper when you made the move? Because this is what I'm going to allude to when you came to, obviously, when you signed for Leeds United. Did you see the way Swansea were playing before you signed and then you were thinking that would suit my style of play, or did you just go without even seeing any of their football?
No, I did watch some of their football. Like, of course, not that much, but I did my research as well, and like I saw, like in the years before, that they actually played a lot with wingers and like more or less a little bit how Leeds want to play as well. Yeah. And in there he said to me as well that I would play as a striker or as a number 10 behind the striker, and like loads of working together, working with crosses, or like loads of chances that will be created there. And then, of course, they wanted me at the end of it. I
want to talk. I'm acutely aware that we don't have you for much longer, Joel. So I want to obviously get onto Leeds and Daniel Farke and you fitting into his system. But just real quickly, I just want to touch on that on the idea of a new boss coming in. And you can be as quick as you like with this because I know we don't have much time. But I'm kind of fascinated by this idea. Everyone sort of assumes that footballers are like hyper confident and water off a duck's back, nothing really bothers them, they just play football. But I imagine there's a massive degree of trepidation amongst you all when a new boss comes in, as there would be in any profession. There's a lot of people listening to this show right now that have probably worked for a company that maybe have had a takeover, or maybe they've got a new executive or something, and they're all thinking, oh, are we going to lose our jobs here? And I'm wondering, like, do you all talk to each other in a squad when you've got a new boss coming in? Do you all discuss and talk about like those worries, those fears that you have? Is it a thing that you share with each other, or is it quite a lonely thing that you have to just sort of deal with yourself?
No, it's something you share with each other because, you build up relationships really, especially with the players. You are together every day of the week, more or less.
Right.
And like, let's say a boss comes in and you know he plays with 5 at the back and he doesn't love wingers. Well, all the wingers will speak to each other like, well, what's going to happen to us? Are we going to sit on the bench? Are we going to transform to a wing back? Or is he going to ship us off?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or you'll see them like this on the phone, straight to their agent, go and get me a move because we know I'm not going to play.
Right.
Definitely.
Listening on together.
We've got a manager that is settled, Daniel Farker. So he's got the man in front of us. He's signed you. Tell us about how that conversation went when you got the move to the Mighty Whites and how you found working under Daniel and his system.
Beforehand, we had a good chat and, he expressed to me that I could learn a lot here and even get my statistics up and play really for the promotion that we want to go for as well. And that was one thing I really, really wanted to go and do. So that was something that I didn't need much time to think about. I wanted the move as well, and I was really pleased with it. And since coming here, working with him, with the whole staff, it's been a pleasure till now because it's very clear what they want from me. Like, the players are really good, and it's like nice to fit in there and like to find your own rhythm in it as well, because of course I'm not a winger who wants to dribble a lot or be flashy all the time, but try to be more clinical and like bring the balance a little bit as well, like to settle games down, to just win and don't worry too much about what we're doing on the pitch really as well.
How have you enjoyed playing alongside Rutter?
I've enjoyed it really, really much because of course he's a player. Like, if you see him play football, you can just enjoy that part already. And he is also very open to have a conversation. And like I would say from day one when I came here, it didn't really feel like competition, but like more that we're here to help each other grow as well, and that we need to learn from each other and like just work together the best we can. And I think he's been very open to it as well, and that's what I think that makes it easier to work together. We're not like envious of each other or anything, but like try to add everything to each other.
That's great to hear.
There's been much talk about obviously you playing in that position behind Jorginho rather than up front. Obviously the boss went into quite a lengthy dialogue about it in one of his press conferences. I'm sure you've heard, but I mean it's working. We're getting the results, and I found it really interesting that what you just said there about that the head on your shoulders is much more pragmatic. And that maybe you might be a bit of a calming force in the middle, which it goes a long way to explain it. But are you enjoying it? Do you enjoy playing that role, or would you rather be up front?
No, I definitely enjoy it. Like, of course, I know I can bring more. I haven't shown like my full capacity yet, but I think that's something that needs a little bit of time as well, because of course it's not only me that needs to know the players. The players need to get to know me a little bit more as well. Yeah. Like I wouldn't say we're fully working together yet as how it will be towards the end.
Which is frightening actually, because it's already coming pretty good.
I've just seen you've just put a smile on Matt's face here. He's a massive fan, and he just lit up there thinking, you mean there's more to come from these two? What is going on?
Hey.
All Leeds, aren't we? The official Leeds United podcast.
What do you like off the field in the dressing room? Okay, are you a quiet member? Are you vocal? Do you like having a bit of? Are you a prankster? What direction are you?
I would say somewhere in the middle. I'm not the most vocal one. I can be quiet as well, but I love to joke around. Yes, like
so you're a bit of a prankster.
Pranks, show some funny videos. I love that. Yeah.
in the club of being the club, the lads that are at the club, obviously they're down for all that. So, did you have an initiation when you signed? Did you have to sing a song or anything?
No, luckily not. No.
Right. Well, the lads are going to hear the podcast. This is going straight to Liam Cooper once again, and you'll have to do it. I find it fascinating that you boys don't have to do initiations anymore when you sign. That was my biggest. I used to be so nervous signing for a new club, not thinking about like how do you impress and start. I was thinking, what song am I going to sing? Has that happened to your clubs in the past?
What was your go-to, Bridgey?
Yeah.
Mine was the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. You know that one? Oh, just a nice little slow start. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner.
Yeah, it's a tricky.
And then you bring them in, and I don't ever want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Man, wow. The lads used to hate the slow bit, but when you drop the chorus, man, that's a good one. So I got that down pat. That comes with experience of 36 different football clubs in 20-year career. Oh man, I can't believe I did that.
I think you got away. Neither can I. You got away with that one, Joel. Okay, apparently we've got you for a couple more minutes. So I just want to, if you don't mind, go along that. So I mean, you've talked about coming into the club and you're liking a bit of a joke and stuff. It certainly feels like there is a real harmony in the changing room at the minute. Is everyone just like on the same page right now? Are you all just enjoying each other's company?
Yes, of course. I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to play, and I think it should be that way. But yes, like it's not like guys are blaming each other for not playing or anything. It's more that everyone tries to help the team to win as much games as we can, because that's at the end of the day our only goal is to go up again.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.